What is going on, guys? It is Big Ziff here. Today we're going to be talking about Xiao. Most of you have already seen a lot of this, I'm assuming, but I wanted to consolidate it all in one video just for anyone who hasn't. I might do Hu Tao in the future if you guys want a video on that. You can skip ahead to specifics if you want, and the timestamps in the description. And the sources from where I get this information will all be posted down in the description as well. If you do enjoy, please leave a like or subscribe. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so the first thing you need to know about Xiao is he's obviously a 5-star polearm user with the Animo element. We're assuming he comes in the 1.3 patch because he's being tested in beta right now, and there's been several leaked videos on him already. Whereas for someone like Hu Tao, we don't have anything yet. We're projecting that the next 1.3 update will come out at the beginning of February if MiHoYo maintains their 6-week update schedule consistently. But anyways, let's get into his kit. So for his base stats, if these are true stats, Xiao will have the highest base attack in the entire game. I've pulled up another page here where I can filter by the character's base attack at level 90. You know Diluc and Ganyu right now are the highest base attack damage, which are at 335, but Xiao is actually projected to be 349, which is slightly higher. He'll have a higher base defense and I think around the same HP as Diluc, but they also, Diluc and Xiao both scale with crit rate, so they'll have the exact same crit rate down here. In terms of Xiao's Ascension materials, what you're going to need is the Vyuda turquoise crystals, which you can get from the Animo Hypostasis or Dvalin, the boss fights or daily commissions or the shops for the smaller ones. The next thing you'll need is the Qingzhen flowers, which you can find across Leeway, then the slime condensates. And this is actually a new material that I'm going to talk about in a future video that should be dropping from the new boss to come out in 1.3. This is called the Juvenile Jade. This will be Xiao and Hu Tao's Ascension material, and it looks like you're going to need like 40 plus of them. So I'll try to see what I can pull together for information on that. So they might still be changing some of this stuff in the future before 1.3. So in terms of Xiao's attack talents, you obviously have normal, charged, and plunging attack. His normal attack consists of 6 consecutive strikes. You can kind of see those damage numbers right here. So his second attack talent is Lemniscatic Wind Cycling. This is going to be his elemental skill or his E ability. It says Xiao lunges forward, dealing animo damage to opponents in his path. Can be used in midair, starts with 2 charges. So at C0, you'll have 2 charges, but as we'll see later on with more constellations, he can get another charge. His ultimate, which is probably his most interesting ability, is called Bane of All Evil, where he puts on this Yaksha mask. It greatly increases Xiao's jumping ability, or like the jump height, increases his attack AoE and attack damage. For those of you who don't know, AoE stands for area of effect, so it's just kind of like the range of the ultimate. It also converts attack damage into animo damage, which cannot be overridden by any other elemental infusion. So, just stays as animo damage the whole time. And in this state, Xiao continuously loses HP. The effects of this skill end when Xiao leaves the field. So if we come down here, we'll see these are the damage bonuses he'll get during the ultimate. They're pretty good scalings, I believe. For the life drain, he'll start by losing 3% HP per second up until talent level 4, where it'll go down to 2.5, and then at talent level 7, it'll go down to 2%, which is the lowest it'll be at. The duration of his ultimate is 15 seconds, the cooldown is 18 seconds, and the energy cost is 70, so it's a little bit higher than most characters, but it's also less than someone like Jingtu, who I believe is 80 energy. So in terms of talent level up materials, you're going to need the teachings, the guides, and the philosophies of prosperity. These are used by people like Keqing and Ningguang and Chi-Chi, so just keep that in mind. You'll also need a ton more of the slimes, so these are really what you're going to be farming a lot of, as well as those flowers I mentioned. And then finally, you'll need this Shadow of the Warrior piece, which you'll get from the child boss fight. And then at talent level 10, you'll need this Crown of Insight, which so far I think we've only been able to get from the event shops for past couple events. So if you still have those saved up and you haven't used them, maybe you want to use them on Xiao. I don't know. So in terms of his passive talents, his first one, Transcension Gravity Defier, decreases climbing stamina consumption for your own party members by 20. Not stackable with passive talents that provide the exact same effects. So if I look at someone like Venti, who has a passive talent, his decreases gliding stamina consumption for your party members by 20. And it's also not stackable, whereas Xiao's is climbing stamina consumption. So I'm assuming that you could use both Venti and Xiao in the same party, and it wouldn't impact like the use of that passive. It wouldn't be considered a stacking of the same effect, but I'm not sure yet. His second passive talent is extremely powerful. It's called Conqueror of Evil, Tamer of Demons. While under the effects of Bane of All Evil, all damage dealt by Xiao increases by 5%. Damage increases by a further 5% for every 3 seconds the ability persists. The maximum damage bonus is 25%. So it starts out with a 5% increase. Every 3 seconds, it'll go up another 5% with a max stack of 25%. So it should be a strong scaling passive talent. His third passive talent, Dissolution Aeon Heavenfall, using Lemniscatic Wind Cycling or his E ability increases the damage of some subsequent E abilities by 15%. This effect lasts for 7 seconds and has a maximum of 3 stacks. Gaining a new stack refreshes the effect's duration. So every time he uses his E ability, the following E ability will do 15% more damage. That effect of 15% more damage will last for 7 seconds until he uses another one, and the max stacks of that is 3. The max, percentage scaling you could get is 45%, which is still really strong. But again, it won't really, you won't really get 3 charges of this unless you have some of his constellations that we'll talk about now. So Constellation 1, Dissolution Aeon, Destroyer of Worlds, increases the charge of his E by 1. This is going to make it so it's 3 instead of 2. Constellation 2, Annihilation Aeon, Blossom of Kaleidos. When in the party and not in the field, Xiao's energy recharge is increased by 25%. This is like a very mediocre one, I feel like. I mean, obviously you want more energy recharge for his high energy cost for his ultimate, but Xiao's going to mainly be used as a main DPS, so when he's off the field, I feel like the team is losing some efficiency. If you're pulling him off the field to try and recharge energy, I don't think that's the best use of him. The only time he should really be off the field is to be cycling through your other teammates to use their elemental skills as well. His C3, Conqueror of Evil, Wrath Deity, increases the max level of his E ability by 3. His C4, Ascension, Extinction of Suffering. When Xiao's HP falls below 50%, he gains a 100% defense bonus. This is, again, kind of a mediocre one because we want Xiao to have more like attack percentage and crit rate, crit damage, things like that. But I guess defense is okay because it'll make him a more tankier DPS as he loses HP from his ultimate. His C5, Evolution Aeon, Origin of Ignorance, increases the level of his ultimate by 3. And finally, the Ultimate Whale Constellation, C6, Conqueror of Evil, Guardian Yaksha. While under the effects of Bane of All Evil, hitting at least 2 opponents with Xiao's plunging attack will immediately grant him 1 charge of Lemniscatic Wind Cycling, and for the next 1 second, he may use Lemniscatic Wind Cycling while ignoring its cooldown. So if you've seen that leaked video where he's essentially plunging and dashing nonstop and doing like ridiculous damage numbers, it's because of this constellation right here. It essentially is saying every time you plunge, if you hit 2 opponents, you're able to use your E, your dashing ability one more time and ignore its cooldown. So you could pretty much plunge, dash. But yeah, that's essentially going to be all I have for Xiao right now. I'm super excited for him coming in 1.3, hopefully. Yeah, that's kind of all I had for you today. So if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the next one.